All right. All right, we're going to be doing lesson 8.3, and we're going to look at multiplying polynomials, okay? And we're going to focus a lot on a binomial times a binomial. Now, there is a little acronym that you can use to help you remember how to multiply them. It's called FOIL. So I'm going to talk to you about what each letter means. We're going to talk about a couple of definitions and whatnot, and then I'm going to kind of actually show you how to do some problems, okay? All right, so what does each letter in FOIL represent? Okay, F stands for first. O stands for outside. I stands for inside. And L stands for last. And it's just a way to help you remember how to basically distribute, okay? And we'll talk more about this here in a second. All right, so when are you going to actually use a FOIL, the word FOIL? Okay, you are only going to use the word FOIL when you are multiplying a binomial times a binomial. So an example here, what I'm talking about, remember, a binomial has two parts. So like x plus 2 times 2x minus 3. Okay, binomial times a binomial. Two-parter times a two-parter. That is the only time FOIL is going to work. We are going to look at what happens when we have a trinomial. It's the same concept. It's just you can't use the word FOIL for that. All right, vocabulary. Quadratic expression. An expression in one variable with a degree of 2 that is written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. All right, and again, we're going to talk more about this here in just a second, but it's an expression in one variable with a degree of 2 written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. All right, so let's take a look at an actual problem here, and we're going to think about the word FOIL. Okay, I'm going to write that up here for you. Okay, so think about FOIL. FOIL means do the first. So I'm going to take x times x and get x squared. Outside, so I'm taking x times 3 and getting 3x. Now I'm going to do the inside, so I'm going to take 5 times the x and get 5x, and I'm going to take 5 times 3 and get 15. Now, just like we were taught earlier in this chapter, we're going to go ahead and combine like terms, so I'm going to go ahead and put these guys together. So when I do that, I'm going to get x squared plus 8x plus 15. All right, so now let's actually think about what FOIL really means. When we take the first times the first, realize that we're just taking x and distributing it to the x, and then we're taking x and distributing to the 3. Same thing with the 5. We're taking the 5 and distributing to the x and to the 3. So FOIL is just a fancy way of saying distribute. Okay, so FOIL basically just stands for distribute. Okay, so let's take a look at another example here. Example 2. Okay, so we're still going to FOIL. So I'm going to take 2x times 3x, 6x squared, minus 8x, negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x, and negative 3 times negative 4 is plus 12. So again, combine the middle here. So we're going to put these guys together right here. So I've got 6x squared minus 17x plus 12. And that's going to be my final answer. All right, example 3. Okay, still FOILing. So I'm going to take x times x and get x squared. X times 4, 4x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And negative 4 times 4 is minus 16. Again, I'm going to combine the middle here, but when I combine the middle, I have a positive 4 and a negative 4. So in this case, these guys are going to cancel out. And my final answer is just going to be the x squared minus 16. And that's going to be my answer. So the middle canceled out. All right. So now on example 4 here, now notice we no longer have a binomial times a binomial, but we have a binomial times a trinomial. It does not change what we do. While we can't use the word FOIL, what we can do is still just distribute. So I'm going to take this 2x, and I'm going to take it to all 3 parts. So I'm going to have 6x to the third minus 8x squared plus 2x. All right, so I took it to all 3 parts. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the negative 5 and make sure we take that negative along with the 5. So I'm going to take it to the 3x squared and get negative 15x squared, negative 5x, or sorry, negative 5 times negative 4x plus 20x, and then negative 5 times 1, negative 5. Now again, we're still combining like terms. So if I look here, the 6x cubed, I can't do anything with that. So 6x cubed, that guy's gone. So now I look at the next thing, x squareds and x squareds. So negative 8 and negative 15 is negative 23x squared. So those guys will now be gone. I've got a 2x and a 20x. So that's 22x. And then I have a minus 5. Now I can't put any of these together because they all have different exponents. So this right here is going to be my final answer. All right, let's go down here and now look at example 5. Now, if I look at example 5 here, now we've really stepped it up. We're taking a trinomial times a trinomial. All right, so we're still going to just distribute, but we're going to have a lot of distributing going on. And I'm going to kind of color code this a little bit just to help you out. We're going to start with the black here, and I'm going to take this 4a squared. All right, move this down a bit. 4a squared, and I'm going to multiply it by all 3 parts. Okay, so I've got 8a to the 4th minus 4a to the 3rd. Again, remember we're adding those exponents. And then plus 32a squared. Okay, now I'm going to move to red, and I'm going to work that 3a. So I'm going to take that 3a to the 2 and get plus 6a cubed, or to the 3rd power. Remember, add the exponents. Minus 3a squared plus 24a. All right, and I'm not done yet, so this is a biggie. Now I've got to take the negative 7. So I'm going to have negative 14a squared. And negative times a negative is a positive 7a. And then negative 7 times 8 is negative 56. See if I can scoot this over a little bit. So I'll get negative 56. Okay? All right, so now we're combining like terms. All right, so 8a to the 4th doesn't have anything else to compare with. So that guy's gone. So now I'm going to look to the thirds. I've got a negative 4 and a 6. So I have a plus 2a to the 3rd. All right, now I'm going to go to the squares. I've got 32, I have a minus 3, and a minus 14. So let's see, I put those together. I've got 32 minus 3 is 29. 29 minus 14 is a positive 25a squared. Okay, now I'm going to look at the a's. I've got a 24a and a 7a, so that's 31a. And then I have minus 56 left over. So this would be my answer, and notice how I'm putting it in standard form. Biggest exponent all the way down to the smallest exponent. Okay? All right, let's go over to the next page now. All right, so now if I look at this problem, it says write and simplify an expression to represent the area. Make sure to label your solution. The dimensions of a professional basketball court are represented by a width of 2y plus 10 feet and a length of 5y minus 6 feet. Find an expression for the area of the court. All right. So if I'm looking just at my picture here and I'm thinking about area, I know that area equals length times width. So I know I'm basically just going to take these two guys and multiply them together. So I'm going to take 5y minus 6 times 2y plus 10. Now, you can use that FOIL acronym from the beginning of the lesson, or again, you can just think about your distributing. So I'm going to take 5y times 2y and get 10y squared plus 50y minus 12y minus 60. Again, combine the middle here. And so my final answer will be 10y squared plus 38y minus 60. Now I did say label, so since up there at top it was talking about feet, and since it's area, it's squared. This would be my final answer. All right, that concludes the notes for this lesson. Now, if you have problems that you need to work on, you need to do so now. Thanks.